Greetings to you all in our series of studies on Petals of Blood by Ngugi Thiongo. We have discussed extensively the plot analysis, the characters and characterization, the use of themes and thematic concerns, the central ideas in the novel, and then various literary devices. And today we are going to be looking at another set of literary devices used in the novel. The novel, if you haven't watched the other videos, it is good you watch them so that you have full understanding of the plot of the novel. Now we are going to be looking at some of the literary devices, but before we go to it in detail, I want you to note this. I received a question in the comment section of one of the videos, and somebody was asking who is the protagonist. In the novel, the protagonist is not just one character. We have about 4 characters that can be regarded as protagonists in the novel, like Monira, Wanja, Abdullah, and also Kariga. All these are protagonists in the sense that they push and they advocate for the cause and the good of Umarok village. And then we have the antagonists, who are more concerned about their own personal interest and then their own emotional satisfaction. People like Umzigo, Chiu, Froshan, and Kimeria. And remember that Kimeria was the one who raped Wanja in the city when they went to the city to draw the attention of the parliament to the drought ravaging Omarok village. So these are the protagonist and the antagonist. Then we have major conflict as well in the novel. In the present, which at the end of the novel, we see that who killed the 3 executives. What led to their death? The police were investigating and making arrests. And then in the past, will Umarok survive the drought? The drought was so severe, and it has consumed all the crops and even economic trees in Umarok, and several of them. Famine was killing people and was ravaging the community. And there is not much the people could do because they do not have other means of livelihood. Most of them are farmers, and now that there is no rain to cultivate the land, many of them were drawn into famine and sought for the help of the parliament, which they do not get as expected. Now, also, another conflict is the generality of the entire country of Kenya. With Kenya surviving the post-independence challenges, will Kenya be able to contain all the groups, all the ethnic, all the tribes, and be able to survive and grow? So the drought in Kenya, metaphorically, is not the drought in Umarok village. Rather, it is the challenge of leadership and then the post-colonial reality in which most of the people in Kenya were disappointed after the independence. After Uhuru, the group called the Mau Mau struggle, where the people of Kenya fought for the independence, including the common man on the street, was really fighting for the independence of his country. But after the independence, you could see that majority of them were disappointed. And even it led to armed struggle again. Like if you read A Grain of Wheat by Ngugi Thiongo, it also talks about the struggle for the independence of Kenya, and several other books which talk about the struggle for independence when it was not yet Uhuru. But now the people have been able to survive, the colonial oppression and then leading themselves as a country of self-government, but rather they were disappointed at the leadership. Then another major literary device in the novel is climax, but the traditional climax is when the action or the conflict reach its highest height. But we see in Petals of Blood that the climax is not the traditional form, or it does not have the characteristics of the traditional climax that we are mostly used to. Now, the climax in this novel probably is not towards the end of it, but rather when the people travel from Umarok to Kenya to Nairobi to go and search for the help of the parliament. That could be the height of the crisis, because from that moment, what we have is denouement, resolutions, and closure of the novel. So we saw that the people's arrival in the city and then their demand can also be regarded as a form of climax. And after that, we also see that what is leading to now is denouement. Now we have allusion as another literary device used in the novel. Now we have a lot of allusions, a lot of references, and even looking at the author, Ngugi is a well-read literati, somebody who loves literature and has studied a lot of books. So you could see a lot of references both to Shakespeare, to the Bible, and to other things. For instance, in the first one, you see the issue of the Mau struggle, a reference to the struggle for independence of Kenya, and then the Petals of Blood. In fact, the title is taken from the Walcott's poem, The Swamp. So, you can also see that Chew is a farm of William Shakespeare, who is one of the character. Chew is one of the character, and then there are a lot of quotations or reference to Shakespearean poems. Shakespearean poem in the novel, and then there are numerous allusions to Christianity, to some of the characters or some of the personalities in the Bible, like Peter, Paul, Jacob, Angel, and several others. Baptism also a reference made to it. Then we have Geoffrey's comment, which is also another reference to the Bible. When things are fully revealed to us, or when we ask it, where cease to see things through a mirror darkly, and this is a reference to the writings of Apostle Paul. Then Kariga, who is one of the prominent or the proponent of the new Umarok and the changes in society, also made a lot of reference to Shakespeare writings. So when he says somebody a long time ago asked the question, what is in a name? And he answered that a rose will still be a rose even by another name. So that is also a quotation from William Shakespeare's writing. And we have another dominant or a relatively present figure of speech in the novel, which is paradox. There are several examples of paradox in the novel, but I pick about two of them. Seeing one, her taunt had the same alluring power as the beckoning cockery of a virgin. Now, everybody is aware that Wanja is a prostitute who have sexual affair with men for money. Now, he is being described here by Karika as somebody who looks like a virgin, and somebody who he desired to even deflower. So a virgin and a prostitute, you can see this is oxymoron. Look at the last line of number one, a virgin and a prostitute. Now this is also an oxymoronic statement, where opposite are placed side by side. So you can also see from this number two that to see her was a need, yet seeing her was a quick act of torment. Now, seeing Wanja is desirable, or Abdullah Munira wishes to see Wanja. But seeing Wanja now also is an act of torment, troubled heart that will lead to a lot of emotional disorder. So you can see now we have another one, though it's not prominent figure of speech in the novel, but it's also very present. That is a syndoke. Now, this statement I use metonymy and syndoke because the statement can also serve the two figures of speech. Look at it where who was I to keep a storehouse of the eyes I had taught. Now, metonymy is a figure of speech in which an animate thing is associated with a person or an office. Now, if I say a crown is coming to my house today, simply means I'm expecting a king. Now, this storehouse now referring to Wanja. Then, of the eyes I had taught, high is a part, Sindoke is, metonymy is the use of object associated with human to represent the human. And then Sindoke is a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent the whole, mostly human. Now, I here is used to represent a person. So this can serve both our figure of speech. And then we have understatement. Understatement is where a word is used in a way that it rather lessens the intensity of something. So instead of using it to create a serious emotion, you rather beat it down by using words that describe the intensity or the seriousness or the severity of it in a lesser way. Now, Munira described Umorog as slightly out of the way and then a bit dry. Now, Umorog was facing a terrible drought. But you can see from here that Munira described it as a bit dry. A bit dry could suggest that probably rain have not fallen for maybe like for a few days, like 2-3 days. But now it has been over a year, and the people are already dying of fever, of hunger. But he referred to it as a bit dry, out of the way. That means probably it is not, the village is not working as it traditionally used to be. The conventional system is out of the way. The time of harvest, the time of planting, as it was before. But now, drought have ceased such seasons. And now, the people are into a severe hunger, and they sought for the help of the parliament, of the government. So another comment again, which is understatement in nature, is the journey of the villager from Umorog to Nairobi. Now, when they return, they say no longer the same. The journey was no longer the same. It's an understatement giving how impacted they were and how much Umorog changed. Now, how were they impacted? Is it positively? Most of them who traveled to Nairobi did not expect how they were treated, because they were camped in a house, and then people like Kimeria rape Wanja, and some of the members of the parliament were being indifferent to the plight of the Umorog villagers. And we also saw that the coming of the railway brought a lot of change to Umorog village, which make Umorog village as an emerging town. And the use of personification is also very common in the novel. In fact, from the beginning to the end, we have a lot of examples of personification. See one in page 7, which is the glittering metal has called there. Can the metal call? Because the quality of calling is something that is animate. Now, matter is inanimate. So referring to matter as something which has called or have the capacity to call is personification. And then look at number 2, our soil is tired. It did not receive enough water to quench its thirst. In page 54 to 55 of the version I'm using, you can see that can the soil be tired? It's what have human attributes that can be tired. Or inanimate thing. Inanimate thing cannot be tired. It is only animate. So the human attribute is being given to an inanimate thing, which is soil. But the sum seems to mock their inquiry faces. Can the sum mock can only be done by a human being. So the qualities and characteristics of human being is being given to the song here. And then you have another one which is, but the forest was eaten by the railway. Can the forest be eaten? Can railway eat? No. So the attribute of eating is human. And also you see the 51 number 5, which is make poverty, and stolen hand shakes hands. Shaking of hand is human attribute which cannot be done by inanimate thing. And then we have here that an inanimate thing is being given the qualities. So it is personification, a personified statement. So we are drawing the curtain in our studies in Petals of Blood. We are going to be studying other probably Erasma in novel as well very soon. And I want you to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime another one is uploaded. And thank you. We meet again very soon.